College can be an incredible time of life. You're away from home, making new friends, learning new things, for the most part, just having a lot of fun. I probably shouldn't say this, but one of my favorite things about college was actually the prank wars we played on each other. Juvenile, maybe, but they were hilarious and ultimately harmless. Like this one time we found out that the door handles in our apartments would pop off if you press the spring in the back of them. And so one night we went over to a friend's apartment and we found all 14 door handles. We popped them off, put them in cups of water, and hid them in the freezer. Did I feel bad the next morning when I got a screaming phone call at 6 a.m. when one of them had locked themselves in the bathroom without a door handle to let them out? A little, but no one was really hurt by it, and we laughed about it later. Something that you can say about a lot of fun things in college, but not every part. Like parties. Admittedly, I went to a fairly small, formerly religious school, so it wasn't some major party scene like some state schools, but drinking culture was still a big thing. There were fraternities and sororities, parties with lots of people and lots of drinking, and things didn't always go well. Put a ton of drunk college students together at 2 a.m, and there's a good chance you're going to see someone get sick, a fight, or do something they're going to regret in the morning. Probably not the best environment for Christians to be hanging out. Then again, it might be the very place Christians need to be. Let me explain. When I read the Gospels, I see a man in Jesus who is not afraid of sinners or sinful situations. In fact, he spends very little time actually in religious places around religious people, and a lot of time with lepers, prostitutes, tax collectors, and just good old-fashioned sinners. One of the biggest criticisms the scribes and Pharisees laid against him was that he went into the homes of tax collectors and sinners that he associated with the bad people. Of course, this isn't a criticism at all. It's the very thing we love about Jesus. He went to sinners. His mission was to collect the lost sheep, to reconcile the sinner to God, to heal the brokenhearted. He didn't wait for sinners to come to him. He went out looking for them. On top of this, he wasn't concerned with remaining clean or safe or morally pure. He wasn't concerned with temptations or potential evils. He went around the bad people without any worry that they would make him bad, because really, how could they? As the incarnate God, he was not changed by those he touched. He changed those he touched. As the embodiment of goodness itself, he was not made impure by their sinfulness. Their sinfulness was made pure by his holiness. It may be a bit of a stretch, so bear with me for a second, but I see a parallel between the life of Jesus and the story of King Midas, the guy from ancient mythology. Midas had this special power that he could change everything around him simply by touching it, but because of Midas's greed, everything he touched turned to gold and ultimately died, becoming a curse. In a way, Jesus has the same power to transform the world around him simply by touching it, just his result is different. Because of his purity, everything he touched turned to goodness and became a blessing. Being the source of all goodness, he couldn't be changed by those around him, and he couldn't help but change everything he came in contact with. It's why we believe, as Catholics, that those who receive the Eucharist have their venial sins wiped away. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches, the Eucharist cannot unite us to Christ without at the same time cleansing us of past sins and preserving us from future ones. You cannot receive Jesus and stay the same person. You cannot have him touch you and still remain a sinner. It just doesn't make sense. His very presence within us transforms us, purifies us, renews us into the people he created us to be. He changes us. We don't change him. And so returning to the question at hand, the question of Christians going to college parties, I admit that there is definitely a danger to be aware of, but I think that there's a real opportunity as well. You could go to these places that are far from the gospel, places teeming with sin, filled with temptation, and bring the gospel. As someone who has received the Eucharist and Jesus lives within you, you could be like Jesus himself, bringing light to the darkness, calm to the chaos, peace to the brokenhearted. If your friends are going to make bad decisions, maybe you could be the one to guide them. If your peers are going to put themselves in danger, maybe you could be the one to protect them. If your classmates are going to need serious help, maybe you could be the one to humbly support them. I can tell you that I went to my fair share of parties in college, not to do sinful, debaucherous things, but to be the one who de-escalated fights, who made sure people got home safe, who offered some reason and good decision-making when those around me just weren't able to do this. I was able to do this, and this is the key, because I wasn't tempted by the things parties offered. I could have a drink or two without making regrettable decisions or chasing after my own base desires. I could go into these situations and not be tempted to do impure things. Not to compare myself too closely to Jesus, but there is a similarity. I wasn't changed or tempted by the things that happened at parties. My presence changed the parties themselves, and hopefully for the better. As Christians, I think that we have a responsibility to put ourselves in messy situations where we can make a difference in people's lives, where we can guide, protect, teach, and inspire. If we are strong enough in our faith, grounded enough in who we are and what we are about, we should not be afraid to go into impure places with tempting things around us, because at the end of the day, we're not actually tempted by those things. If Jesus is at our core, if he's guiding all that we do, then there is nothing to worry about but the soul of the person in front of us. If you ask me, I say yes. I think we do need to go to the less than ideal places, to the college party, to hang out with friends going down the wrong road, enter situations that are far from perfect Christianity. These are the places that need Jesus the most, and we might be the only ones willing and able to make a difference there. If what I just said is true, if Jesus really is at our core, if Jesus is the one guiding all we do, if we truly aren't tempted by sin or at risk of losing our own soul. I can tell you that personally, at 21, going to a college party was not a risk to my soul, but there were other places that could have been. There were other situations, if I'm honest with myself, that really did tempt me. And even though I might have been able to bring the light of Christ to those other situations, I knew that I probably wasn't strong enough, that I couldn't guarantee that I would leave with my soul intact. As much as people in those situations might have needed me, it was just too risky. I knew I had to stay away. Which is why the ultimate answer to this question, my actual recommendation, is that it depends. It depends on your own moral fortitude and your ability to resist temptation. If you're going to fall, it is not worth it. Avoid the near occasions of sin. It depends on the physical and legal risks involved. Some parties are just too wild, too dangerous, and too unlikely for any of us to make a difference. While there are situations where we might be able to make a difference, there are times where the best thing you can do is to keep your phone on in case of emergencies, to offer to be a driver so that others don't endanger themselves and others, to help pick up the pieces the next day. In some situations, going yourself might not be the best option. It really depends, which is why we need discernment, real prayerful discernment. Can I actually make a difference here? Am I putting myself too much at risk? Do I have someone to go with me so that we can support each other? Will this create scandal? There are definitely a lot of dangers to consider. I am absolutely not saying that all Christians should start going to parties to evangelize, that this is where everyone should be. Absolutely not. For many people, it is too much of a temptation, too big of a risk. But someone should go, right? Some Christians should be in these places doing what Jesus did. It may not be for everyone, but it is definitely for someone. When it comes down to it, what I'm saying in this video is this. For those who are strong, for those who can withstand the brokenness of the world, we have a responsibility to go to those in need rather than wait for them to come to us. I think we need to go to the tax collectors, the sinners, the prostitutes, and all the people that Jesus came to save and bring the light to them. Jesus called us to be the light of the world. He said to be in the world, but not of the world. You are not going to be able to do that sitting at home in the safety of your dorm room. Maybe you don't have to go to college parties. It's not for everyone, but you've got to get out somewhere. You've got to get into the messy world with messy people and messy situations, not to become a mess yourself, but so that you might bring to the world the only one who can offer true peace and order, Jesus Christ. In the 21st century, you do not need to travel all the way to China or Africa to be a missionary. Sometimes all you need to do is go to the dorm right next door, the apartment right down the road. I am not asking you to put yourself in danger, and I absolutely want you to avoid all things that truly tempt you. But for the strong, for those who desire nothing but Jesus and are not tempted by the passing things of this world, I believe we have an obligation to go into the world to transform it.